of what we anticipate to be monthly updates on the downtown Tempe streetscape improvements, specifically Mill Avenue. We have representatives from Neighborhood Services with us today, representatives from our Downtown Tempe Authority, the Merchants Association. We have representatives from our Public Works Department and Engineering Division within that Public Works Department, as well as representatives from our communications teams and the contractor, Aiken Gardner, that are all here today to share information on where we're at with this important project in our downtown, as well as to field any questions about next steps and coordination as we go forward with this project. So thank you again for joining us. And again, this is meant to be sharing with you all where the city is at with the construction of these improvements on Mill Avenue in the downtown, and answer any questions you have about the project at this point in time. Is there any? Yeah, I guess, hey, Shauna, just for procedural, if folks need to have a question answered as we're going through the information, raise your hand on the in the virtual meeting, and we will answer the question hopefully as soon as we see it. So going forward, we're gonna give you a little bit of what's happened up to date with the project, what the project intentions are, and then where we're at with construction and next steps with construction, and how we're communicating that information to all of the merchants in our downtown. So I think next slide, Shauna. So a little bit on the project area and the things that are happening right now. You all know we're talking Mill Avenue in our downtown, from University Drive on the south to Rio Salado Parkway on the north. It's about a half mile of Mill Avenue in our downtown. Next slide. And these are the elements, the major elements of what is happening on the street. And hopefully this isn't a surprise to anyone on the meeting. But these elements are what the council and the community has forwarded as part of the construction of this project. So we will be redoing the sidewalks and the pedestrian space that's along the street. That includes Americans with Disability Act upgrades or improvements. We are looking at in some of the intersections, the sidewalk becomes a little bit wider, and that's something you can see right at Mill and University. That's a portion that we have completed, but we will have a little bit more expanded pedestrian space in the downtown, which is important. It's something that as the street has become more of an event space and higher density, that increased pedestrian space is going to be valuable. We are putting in, we're keeping with the brick theme of Mill Avenue, but we will be putting in new and refreshed brick pavers for the blocks on Mill Avenue. And then at the corners, there's a little bit different color than the red brick that will be going in. And again, we've started installing that on at least two of the corners. So that new brick that's being introduced as part of the sidewalk pavers is now visible. At, I think, 20 plus locations, we also have what we're calling the historic markers. These are a mosaic material that will display an image of something about Tempe's history, and specifically the history of Tempe in the downtown. So images of a flour mill, images of the butte, images of the first inhabitants of this area are going to be part of those historic markers. And so that's a nice aesthetic feature of the project. Infrastructure upgrades. This is actually the original intent and purpose of the project, is bringing up to current standards and building in capacity for future electrification needs, as well as landscape irrigation or water needs along the street. So this has to do with supporting our events and supporting the growth in the downtown. That's stuff that happens below the road, below the sidewalk, those new electric and irrigation lines. So while we were doing that work, the council was interested in supporting doing some of these aesthetic improvements on top of the ground. We also are looking at, I believe the number's 3 new bus shelters. We have not put new transit facilities on the street for a very long time. So we are putting in the new, Tempe has 4 new transit shelter sizes and designs. We are putting in 3 of those along this half-mile section of street. And then a big aesthetic impact and urban cooling impact is that we are placing new trees in essentially all or most of the existing tree grates that are out there. So the spacing of the trees will remain the same in roughly the same spots that they have been planted in for the last 40 plus years, but we will be putting in new trees. It's important to note the trees that we are putting in are more drought tolerant. They have a greater variety than the one species that we have out there today. And so we feel they are a much more sustainable approach to how we're handling the landscaping in the downtown. The trees should live longer, be more resilient in this hot urban environment, and consume less water than the ficus that we have out there today. And final note on the ficus, we are those trees that are healthy and or young and have a good canopy. We are leaving as many of those as possible for the project. We will replace those ficus that remain upon the end of their lifespan with the new tree species that we're working with. Next slide. Yes. Was there a question? No. Thought we had a question there. We'll go on to the next slide here. So a little bit more specific progress, what's been happening this summer. For those of you that were around this summer, we just completed repaving the entire intersection of Mill and University. So that happened over a 4-day period. Contractor Aiken Gardner, working with the city staff and DTA contacts, worked 24/7 in those multiple days to get this all done in a very short period of time. So much appreciation to the team as well as to the public and the merchants that all went through that process with us. Hopefully it was as painless as possible. That's a good example of what we're trying to do with this project is look for efficiencies where we can get a lot of work done in a short period of time. So it was advantageous to do this during the summer. But that intersection, the paving is completed. The new ramps, the new design of the ramps, as well as the new paving materials is nearly completed, all 4 corners. So that gives you a good idea of what those corners for the rest of the blocks will look like. We have preliminary striping done through that intersection right now to kind of keep the road flowing, but the final striping that's more permanent in nature will happen after that asphalt has set up for a little bit longer, and then we'll put in the final striping. I've mentioned it, but I just want to reinforce that on the north side of the intersection, on the northeast corner and the northwest corner, so kind of the Pita Jungle corner and the old P.F. Chang's corner, you see the new pavers and the new design of Mill Avenue sidewalk material, and that is going to be reflected and repeated as we go north on the street to Real Salto Parkway. So that's the work that has been done in the last over the summer. And we will now be moving north into other parts of the street to do further construction. So I think we'll move to the next slide. So I'm going to, for schedule and next steps, I'm going to hand this over to, I believe, Casey at...
No idea.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm handing over to Casey with our contractor at Aiken Gardner to kind of go through these next steps.
Yeah, again, so another recap kind of what's happened out there. We started work at the intersection there of University and Mill in April and just finished up last week. We've got a couple minor things that need to be finished up over there, but the majority of the work has been completed. The only thing left over there is a couple of push buttons that we need to put in. Phase 2 of Mill Avenue is going to get started towards the end of August, and that will include the improvements within the sidewalk north of the intersection of University up to 7th Street. So we'll be removing the existing brick, cleaning that up, installing dry and wet utilities towards the curb line inside the sidewalk, and then actually relaying those clean bricks and then doing the same thing kind of towards the building and patio edges as well. We've got some concrete upgrades that go in there as well. Like I said, that gets started towards the end of August, and that'll carry us into December. Phase 3 will include the improvements north of 7th Street, including the intersection. And we're still kind of working through schedule on that with the city, but that's kind of the plan moving forward.
I might be taking this one and then handing it over to Allie at DTA. So I'll say a couple words on this slide. We again, part of the reason for this meeting is to make sure that we are giving all opportunities for merchants and stakeholders in our downtown to be able to ask questions about the project and reach out to the project team. So we have these meetings that we set up monthly, but then we also have all these other ways that are identified here on this slide, including project hotline. We do have a contractor office in the transportation center where lots of our transportation team are over at Forest and 5th Street. So you can see here the hours that you can pop down to contact directly with our contractor. And then there's a bunch of great information that DTA, your Merchants Association, is providing, and communications that DTA is enabling in order to make sure that this construction is minimizing impacts to your businesses and giving you as much of an advance notice on any impacts as we go forward. I do want to mention that we are, as we have been saying, and we've been really trying to execute, is really customized solutions for each business to ensure access during construction and again, to minimize impacts during construction. So we will continue to do that. A lot of the same folks that are on the meeting today and are talking today are the same folks that you will see out on the construction site on Mill Avenue and can certainly talk to discuss any impacts to your business. So with that, I want to hand it over to Allie Dykstra with DTA and add anything, Allie, that you want to say about DTA's communications.
Definitely. I'll just pop in and say that's my email down there right at the bottom, just Allie@downtowntempe.com. If you have any questions as a merchant, as someone who's involved in the downtown and your business could be impacted on those things, I'd love to stop in and talk to you one-on-one about all those different questions that you would have. If you have upcoming projects, if you have concerns about deliveries, if you have any questions at all, I can always pop in. And then you can email me at any time. If you're not already getting the weekly newsletter that's getting sent out, I try to put in as many construction updates as possible within that newsletter as well, trying to be as concise and informative as I can each week, just about the updates that I'm hearing to keep you guys informed. But if you have anything else that isn't covered by these meetings, by our communications, or you just want to chat offline, I'm always available for that. And this slide might still be mine.
Yeah, I think this.
It kind of touches on a lot of what I just spoke of. So you'll see different signage. If you see something, just to touch on signage a little bit, if you see something that you think as your business, it would be really helpful, but I don't have the resources right now or whatever, I can try to work with you to bring out some more signage to get attention down to a walkway that gets near your door or whatever the solution could be. So if you're creative, then I'll try to be creative with you.
And then I believe this is our last slide, maybe the second to last slide, but in addition to any of the folks on this call that are city staff or DTA staff or contractor staff, we also have this list of names of folks that are great contacts for getting updates on the project as well, or any questions or concerns you have on the project. So this presentation will be available on our website, and so you don't have to, you can take a screenshot of it right now, but this information will be provided on our website as well to get these contacts. And then there's one more slide. So we will continue to host these virtual monthly meetings that are updates on the project. We want to, again, really try to provide opportunity for folks to ask us any questions or concerns they have about the project impacts to their business. And then we are, as many folks have already been in coordination with us, trying to be really careful about specifically how patios are handled. So we've done some design changes to the project, as well as some accommodations during construction for the patios. And then you can also see with our next steps when the next virtual meetings are scheduled for through the rest of this calendar year. All right. And then this meeting's recorded, will be provided on the website, so folks can always go back and listen to the video.